My name's Nanette and I'm the English coordinator at Pegasus Primary School, and we've been a storytelling school for the last 5 years. And the reason I love storytelling is because the children are so excited and they love telling stories, and it really develops their language, and that really comes through in their writing. The fact that they know a story so well and the plot, and they're developing storytelling language that they might not otherwise use or hear or read, means that they are so excited when they come to write down the story. But also because they know the plot, they are able to put in that good high quality language and not worry about what they're going to write, but focus on things like their phonics and their handwriting and their spellings, so that their level of writing just shoots up.
And do you think there's something about telling a story from memory that helps raise standards in writing?
I think absolutely. The fact that children have had an oral rehearsal of their story and telling it from memory and knowing it so well that they don't have to worry about the ideas means that then they can focus on all the other developments and enhancements and creating beautiful language and putting in extra detail because they know it so well.
And as your head of English, you've been training up the staff in storytelling. How's that been with the teachers? How do they find teaching storytelling?
I think the teachers love storytelling. I think some teachers find it harder to tell a story to a class because we're so used to sitting with a book and reading to a class, but once they really get into it and they see how excited and how engaged the children are when you start to tell a story, really tell a story to a class, but also just the enjoyment that you see with the children, and often children who are less engaged with writing love storytelling and using the acting and using the deepening and the role play and the freeze framing with one story in particular allows you to have this whole context of learning which you can then pull on and take into writing or take into something else or take into non-fiction, and that's when it all works, when it all comes together.
And could you tell us something about shared writing and why that's an important part of the story?
I think shared writing works really well when it comes from the story itself. So the children already know a story really well. They already know what the plot is and what's going to happen, and they know the characters and how they feel and why they act like they act. And then to take a part of a story that children know really well and then go really deep into shared writing means it comes alive to them. They've got all these ideas already which you can pull on and use, and then the act of shared writing together is such a key way of modelling to children the thinking, the thought process of writing, and doing that together, and even further developing their language and sharing ideas and magpieing words works so well to show them what writing really is.
And for a teacher or a school that's under pressure to raise standards in writing, do you think this is a good method for them?
I think it's absolutely the best way we've improved our writing over the last couple of years, particularly because of the development in the language and the syntax of the storytelling sentences. The children are able to start using them in their own speaking. They take it into other areas of learning, into science, into geography, when they're explaining processes. The storytelling words like first, next, after that, finally, you can hear that in their language as it develops if they start to explain other things to you. And I think that use of language has really come through into their writing. The children want to write because they love the stories and they've got something to write about, so they've got all these ideas to draw on, to share with, and it just brings their writing alive.
And finally, Nanette, could you tell us something about the consulting work you've been doing with schools in Oxford and in London?
So I've been spending some time helping other schools who are beginning to be storytelling schools begin storytelling in their schools, setting up long-term plans of stories throughout terms and thematically linked to topics, supporting PPA sessions and planning ideas of how to use a story, how to turn a story into writing. I've also just been doing some mentoring work, being in classrooms when they're storytelling or shared writing, and giving teachers some time to talk about storytelling and how it's going in their classroom, what they could do next. And I think mainly giving teachers confidence in the skills and using the different tools that storytelling schools enables them to have.